And we are live. What's going on, people? Let's talk some Supercoach. Let me put this over. If you're re-watching this after it's been posted, thanks for joining in. Obviously didn't get a chance to do it last week, so hopefully, we'll probably go pretty close to the bounce, maybe to 7 or so. Hopefully, these teams won't be too far off, probably 20-odd minutes away, and footy's been crazy at the moment. I must admit, I do tune out a touch when, we sort of start to have games thrown here, there, and everywhere. It makes it very difficult. I mean, I don't know about you, but the number one thing I love about footy is going. So when we can't go, it makes it a little tricky. So I definitely miss going along to the MCG, 80,000 people. I miss that a lot. Tattoo, what's going on, mate? Mark, how you going? But yeah, if you got any questions, feel free to shoot them through. Obviously, it's a bit of a different time, and don't know, 6 o'clock probably ain't ideal on a Thursday because footy training will be back, I'd imagine, for most people. So it's just how it sort of worked out tonight. So we'll see how we go through. But not exactly a blockbuster tonight. But if you've got any trade thoughts or anyone that's on your radar, or even if you've been watching the tennis, feel free to discuss some tennis if you like. James, Cunnington or Jelly for Neil? Definitely Josh Kelly for me. I think he's flying. He's looking great. Since he's had that role change, I've got no idea why he was playing a bit of a half-forward flank role and more outside, at the start of the year. But he's definitely found some really good footy now. But thanks for James, the famous. Neil is injured. Yeah, it's a bit concerning with the calf. He's had I think he had that calf concern through the pre-season as well, I believe. So Lockie might just be getting a little bit of soft tissue injury. Corey, what's going on, mate? What do you think of Cunnington and Merritt or Tom Mitchell for the last midfield upgrade? I probably lean towards Merritt for that one. And that's the thing, like a lot of teams, I like doing the live sesh, but there's probably less to talk about. A lot of people have probably got 1 or 2 spots to sort of fill up. I'd be going Merritt. I know Ben Cunnington is going well, and there's a couple of people that have already mentioned him. But history suggests that he's not an absolute premium. I mean, he's running hot the last 6 weeks. There's no doubt about that. But his average is always just over 100. So I'd be more inclined to go with Zach Merritt. He's having a great season. Tom Mitchell's been pretty solid as well. But, hopefully that helps you. Famous. Is there a cheat button to get Bont in? He's had a ripper season, hasn't he? Unbelievable year. I probably thought a couple of weeks back that he would be leading the Brownlow. Well, I reckon right now there's always surprises in the Brownlow, but he could be 5 or 6 votes clear, I reckon, right now. I almost want him to slow down just a touch because I want an interesting Brownlow night. But look at that. Bont's gone since round 8, 155, 128, 159, 125, 149. buy, then 143, 156. One of the all-time seasons, he's kicking goals, having regularly good possessions and clearance counts. And what is he priced at? Every high 600s. He's 709. So, yeah, we might need that cheap button, mate. We really might. Supercoach Pro. As a Geelong man, Shorty, would you pick Isaac Smith over Norton for my Impey replacement? Not a lot of cash. These are the only options I'm thinking. Golly gosh. Wow. How many trades you got, mate? I don't particularly like either of those options at all. So I take it, you don't have too much coin, which is, a lot of us are struggling. But, Smith has scored back-to-back tons, but he's only tonned up once for the rest of the year. High score of 105 last week. So, and Norton, he's going to have massive games, but he'll also have those games where he just doesn't find it, young key forward. So, hopefully, if you can, let me know what your situation is, mate. I'm good, Tattoo. I'm good, mate. How are you travelling? If anyone's got any tips for tonight or run any multis, or if you've been watching the tennis, Tour de France fans, feel free to let me know. Tattoo says, is Tuke Miller a must? Well, I mean, he's having an unbelievable season, and he's really just going strength to strength, isn't he? Like, at the moment, it's not like whether he's a must or not. It's more like, can you get him? Like, can you afford him? If you can afford him, then that's great. But the bloke is, $630K. It's not always easy to reach. I think you're going to be happy with him as a selection, put it that way. But I feel as if, like, at this point in time, it's more so not about whether they're a must, but whether you can afford them and make those trades. So how many trades you got left, etc. Aussie Tiger, Ford downgrade options. Let me have a look. I'm probably not trading this week. I might trade Poulter down potentially. I'll just wait and see. But I think Dangerfield's a guy that I'll be bringing in next week for Coleman Jones or something like that. And a few of you out there will be the same, just sort of sitting tight and not really doing too much. Be fantastic if my page wanted to load. That'd be great. Have a look at some of these downgrade options. What was it? Forward line downgrade. Piss off, God. Shout out to Langers if he's listening. He's plugging away at work, so hopefully he's going all right, mate. Scrolling through a few options now. What are we? Down to 200K. All right, what do we got? Aaron Briggs doing all right last week. Took a couple of nice marks. Gee, she's scarce. Absolutely scarce. Dill Williams, just a 30. I would suggest there are no downgrade options in terms of the real bottom end. We might have to wait and see what these teams produce. But, I would say there's next to nothing. So, not really what we're after. But that's the tricky thing at the moment. Sometimes it's, Mark, is Danger a must-have or go side, bottom, or Dale? I think he is a must-have. And I'd like to think that isn't a biased view. I know with the syndesmosis that he did say that he would be returning, but probably 3 weeks away from his very best, or at least, full fitness and that type of thing. So, I would suggest that he is a must-have. I'd prefer him over Dale. I'd prefer him over Sidebottom, put it that way. The famous Robertson and Impey for Danger and a random 102K. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with going a random 102 guy at the moment if that's what you got to do to get through, because, we're at that point where bringing in rookies, it's sometimes handy for them to be playing, but more or less it doesn't really matter because it doesn't matter what they do. We're not going to downgrade them. We're not going to upgrade them. They're just transactions for cash, basically, at this point in the season. Carl. Oh, no, sorry, Aussie Tiger. I had to get Taron Thomas for Impey due to having no cash. Gosh, that is the tricky thing at the moment, isn't it? That is the tricky thing because, there really is stages where you're like, I just don't have the money. I'm feeling that a little bit too. Carl, forgive me, short dog, for I have sinned. Brought in Paddy. Wow, despite knowing better. Now the People's Prince might have to step up to the plate and channel his inner Chalky Neal. Oh, mate, you went Paddy Dow. Gosh, even I couldn't be tempted by old Paddy again. Nah, that's a pity. Hopefully you can dig yourself out of that one. Tattoo says, I am ranked 69th. 2 upgrades left. Wowee, nice. You're doing well. Yeah, you'll be hoping to do everything you can to let us know what if you're 69th, how many actual points are you off number 1 or the top 10? I'll be interested to know. Emmett, is Neil a hold? I was here in 2 to 3 weeks. I'd say at this stage, probably not. The real question is how many trades you got. If you don't have many trades, then yeah, hold on to him. If you're penny pinching, you might hold on to him. But if you're feeling like you are going to have a full side with like 4 or 5 trades left over, if you're sitting all right like that, then yeah, go for your life. I would definitely encourage you to trade if you've got that luxury. Supercoach Pro, 3 trades left, 473 to grab a forward. Yeah, righto. Let me have a look, mate. See if my eye can just see anything that appeals to me. Is anyone else sort of feeling the mid to late season Supercoach pinch? I mean, I still, don't get me wrong, I love, thinking about it and planning, but it does hurt sometimes, doesn't it? You can lose just a smidgen of interest at times. It does get tough, particularly where so much about trades and that sort of thing. 476, you said? 473. Yeah, she's light on. Yeah, not gonna find a stack of love here, are we? Honestly, you bring up Norton, you bring up Smith. I'd be going Rowan Marshall if I was you. I know he hasn't come back great, but in terms of from here to the end of the season, who do I think will score better? Norton, Smith, or Marshall? Definitely Marshall. I mean, you might be concerned over the body. That's fair, but I would probably prefer a guy that I know can score as opposed to, those other blokes aren't going to give you 90 plus too often. They'll be hot and cold. Kane, thoughts on Mason Wood? Golly gosh. Mason Wood. My gut feel is no, but I'm all for these random names. It's that time of year, but sometimes we've got to get creative right now. He's gone 113 and 16 and then 94, 108. Look, probably the main issue there, mate, is that he's 300K. So I don't think he's a reliable scorer. I know he's been going okay, but, over the journey, history says he finds a way to let you down. Gets injured, change of role, finds his way out of the side. He's no best 22 lock. So if you're looking at him as a left field moneymaker, I get that. 300K, you're not going to get a stack of money, but he's got to break even like negative 20 odd. So I get the money-making point of view. I don't see him as a reliable scorer for you. The famous Suns win tonight. Sexton 4 goals. Gosh. That is a bold call, mate, and I hope it is true. Justin, I can't go past King for first goal. Ridiculous how many first goals he's done this year. Yeah, righto. That's interesting. I might have to keep an eye on that. I must admit tonight I'll be channel surfing. I'll be having a look at the tennis, bit of the footy. I'm probably more interested in the tennis, to be honest, right now. doesn't exactly light my fire, Gold Coast versus Richmond. And I think Kyrgios is on pretty late, so that's disappointing because I would like to see him play. Love him or hate him, he's interesting to watch. Carl, do you know much about Jay Sharp? Does he justify the extra outlay versus basement price rookie based on job security scoring potential? Is that Jeremy from Gold Coast, was it? I'm not even sure. Let me have a look. I'm guessing it is. Scored 76 last week, 141K, and he's a midfielder. Do you know much? I don't know much about him other than he was pretty highly rated back in the day. Like, I feel as if he was a relatively reasonable selection in terms of the draft. I remember hearing good things, but we just haven't seen the bloke. So I wouldn't recognise him for walk past him, but does he justify? Probably does. I mean, at the moment, we don't have stacks going on. I would take the punt on him. I haven't really looked super deep at, what sort of options we have. I probably need to. I was sort of waiting for the teams before I really delved into it, but he's a talented player. No doubt about that. What's held him back? I'm not sure. Emmett, 25 plus touches for Tom Lynch is easy money. That is some optimistic stuff. Carl, Dangerfield done enough to warrant selection rounding into form. Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. He's looked rusty. There's no doubt about that. But he was on record saying that he will build and build and build. And I wouldn't be surprised if we sort of saw his better footy sort of from round 17 onwards. So I still think, all things being equal, he's probably the number one forward or thereabouts, so definitely the way we're struggling in the forward line. I'll put it this way, there's some blokes that we hope can average in the 90s. Dangerfield's a lock to average in the 90s, even if he's not quite right, But at his very best, if he gets fit, lights fire a couple of times, he's going to give you the old 120 plus. So that's a no-brainer for me. Tattoo have very strong backs and miss. I feel forwards are smaller ceilings. That's probably true. I mean, the forward line has just proved tough all year, hasn't it? Been real tough. Carl, again, sounds like Neil is a very light one. Don't think he's even 100% ruled out for this week. Okay. Well, I didn't realise that. So, yeah, definitely. If it's just like a week, maybe two, then I'm probably inclined to hold on. Bo, I haven't traded for 2 weeks. Thoughts on Zach Bailey? Yeah, fair call, mate. I mean, at the moment, you don't have to be trading. Like we probably go almost from round 1. Sometimes, you might not trade in round 2 or whatever, but or whenever the prices change. And then almost every week we trade at least once. So sometimes it's a nice position to not have to trade. Zach Bailey, I really like as a footballer. He's still probably got those inconsistencies as a scorer. And that's probably just due to his role. It's not like he's always a mid. He's not always a forward. 93, 69, 103, 133, 80. Overall average of 85. I wouldn't be jumping at him. He's a sort of bloke who can kick 3 goals, have 18 touches, but he can also have those quiet games. So he's probably a solid pick. He's got upside, but I wouldn't be jumping at it for mine. And Tattoo says, the points, 32,902 is 10th. And you're, okay, so it's about 480 odd points or somewhere around that. Yeah, righto. Interesting, mate. Well, good luck. Good luck. I hope you can go well. Keep us updated. Morgan, what's going on, mate? Get Toby Green for Impey. Yeah, I think that would be fair enough. Green, he's a bit like Heaney in that way. Like his role just naturally sees a little bit of fluctuation and sort of has to be at his best to really go nicely. But he is leading that Gold Coast team, Giants team, I should say, really nicely. So, like I said, it's tough to find options. He's priced under 500. I can definitely understand that. So, can't wait for next year, but I'm looking at I've sort of still been thinking a lot about Supercoach, but even some of it's been like, oh, he'll be nicely priced for next year. Oh yeah, it's a funny game. It's a funny game, Supercoach. Corey's back. What's going on, mate? Get Stan Sport. If you have Stan as all the channels for tennis and all courts, I play tennis, love watching. I reckon Kyrgios will win comfortably tonight. Nice, Corey. Yeah, I played a fair bit of tennis back in the day, mate. I do have Stan. I don't have Stan Sport. I just sort of watch whatever Channel 9 throws my way. But, yeah, I take it KO don't have any rights if Stan have got it? I don't really know how all that sort of works. But, yeah, I hope he does win tonight. It'll be an interesting watch no matter what. I mean, on paper, 100% should win tonight. You just never quite know what you're going to get from him, do you? Justin, what's going on, mate? What's he got for us? Raul back inside midfield tonight. Thoughts on possible back to 100-plus scores, or is he going to die off still? No, I'd anticipate that he does start to find some really good stuff now that he is back. He'll be more fit now. So yeah, I think I sort of speak of next year. I definitely feel like he'll be a guy. He was always going to be a bit slow coming back into it, and they weren't just going to throw him straight into the furnace. I'll just get the AFL side up because teams won't be far off. But yeah, I think Raul definitely a good chance to get back to some good scores, no doubt about that. Corey, what do you think about Buddy Franklin? Look at his last 4 weeks of the season for a pick for the Supercoach finals. If I don't have cash, yeah. Look, I mean, the doubt is never over his scoring. It's just the fact that he's going to miss footy, whether it's on purpose or not. Like they're going to rest him, particularly if Sydney are looking like playing finals still. Then they're probably going to manage him at times. So I think you're right. He could score reasonable at times when he's out there, but you could also be preparing for a prelim final in Supercoach and they rest him, so it kills you. So that's my main worry with Buddy. Bit injury prone. He is old and he's still got that magic touch to do it occasionally. And you're right, his last month, but don't know. Supercoach Pro, I'd rather Buddy over Marshall. Marshall foot worries me. Well, that's fair enough. The foot is fair enough. Smith might average 90 without Duncan. Cats have softish draw. DPP is handy, but Norton is 60k less and also a great fixture. I'd probably put a line through Norton. I just can't trust a young key forward who could genuinely give you 45. You're right with Duncan being out. That is a fair point. Smith is probably the safer pick. But, yeah, honestly, I do get you with the Marshall foot injury. I understand that, but it's that debate, isn't it? Do I want a bloke that's sort of going to average 85, 90, he'll be fit every week? Or do I take a punt? Could Marshall, he could average 105 for the rest of the year, or he could absolutely burn you. So if you don't have many trades, like you mentioned, maybe safe option could be the way to go. I'm just going to check these sides. I reckon they might be drop/dropping. We have teams. All right, let's go through them. I'm sure you guys are probably already commenting a few bits and pieces, but what do we got? The Cats bring in Stanley. I'm glad about that. Sean Higgins has been managed. What an absolute load of shit. Just say you dropped him, Chris. Goodness me, O'Connor out. Radical Air managed. Just say you dropped the bastard. God, we're soft sometimes, but glad to see that. There's a little rage for Shorty on his Cats. Supercoach relevant, though. What do we got? What names? Sort of Madden is out, injured. Nick Murray's back in. I wonder if a few people, not that that's overly relevant. Nat Fife's back. Good to see him back as always. Williams out suspended and Doherty and Murphy out injured. Some elder statesmen there. Wingard out. Granger Barras out. Will Day out. There's some big outs for the Hawks, aren't there? Kieran Briggs has been dropped. Just after I said I thought he took a few nice grabs last week. Bo McCreary injured. Of course, DeGoey, Finlay McRae comes back in. Swans West Coast down at Geelong. Who would have ever thought? You got Witherden back. Not sure if too many people care about that. Well, then we got the final game around, the Doggies versus North. Aren't the Doggies flying? And I don't see. I mean, Bailey Scott's back, but I don't see. Oh, sorry. I was thinking Anthony Scott. Saw the Dogs and then just saw a Scott next to it. Yeah, okay. So nothing too crazy to go on about there. Seems like fairly safe. Bo saying get Dan Houston. He gets mentioned a lot, Dan Houston. Now, every week I look at his scores and he'll have a couple of good ones and a lower one. And what did he do last week? What did he do? 110. Yeah, 97, 102, 98, 110. I mean, he's solid enough. I just feel like we've got better options down back. But Aussie Tiger teams are out. Yep, good stuff. What do we got? Randy, if I sideways kneel to Danger, I'll have one trade left and CCJ still on the field. Do I risk it? Yeah, what is the update with Neil? That's probably what we got to find out. I mean, Neil has been named. Yeah. As someone rightly pointed out earlier, maybe he's not as injured as we thought, or certainly not as bad. So, no, to answer your question, I would hold on because he's picked. He might be a late out, so just see. But at the very least, it should only be 1 weeker if he's, if they're giving him to the last minute. Vesta, VC Oliver, no De Boer. Yeah, that's hard to argue. No De Boer means, absolutely good chance to go bang. Aussie Tiger, Eddie Ford, the only, I saw him named before. Only Ford rookie playing this week. Gosh, yeah. Very tough. There's not many options out there. Let's do the best we can. Jono, hey, mate, what's going on? He's late to the party, but he's here. Good stuff. Morgan, teams are out. Yep. Neil and the team. Boom. Good stuff. Aussie Tiger, Corey, Marco O'Connor out this week. So good for Merritt and Parish owners. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Because he probably would have tagged one of those guys, so they'll be happy about that. Justin was looking at him being my mid-bench backup. Oh, Rao, hence the question earlier. Yeah, fair enough. And, he's probably going to be quite nicely priced as we'd think, not just for this year, but for next year as well. 403 overall average. Of course, it's, hugely affected, but wow, he only had 14 touches in round 15. Jeez. Sean, hey, Shorty, thoughts on Hawkins' F6 for Geelong? They have a pretty soft fixture and can go big, just worried about some of his lower scores. Yeah, I don't mind it. Don't mind it at all. I think you're right. He does have some lower scores, but look, in terms of key forwards, he's probably one of the more consistent ones. Lots of goal assists, can get high possession counts. He does have a lot of modes of scoring. I don't hate that option. It's key forwards can be risky, as we know, but he's probably one of the more consistent ones. Henry Gould, Wines or Danger? Well, I mean, clearly Dangerfield as a forward, I think, is a really good option, but Dangerfield at the moment just can't sort of be compared to Wines because Wines is in career best form just about, and Dangerfield's a bloke sort of coming off an injury. So you'd be backing Wines to score better, but try and get Paddy into your forward line for sure. Carl has got Madden and Poulter to Danger and his 102k rookie. Have CCJ and Dow loop up forward, Danger in the mids for a week, Bianco defense cover. Yeah, that's looking good, mate. I like that. And Poulter, yeah, probably the price is right, so that's good. Paul, is it too early to trade Riley Collier-Dawkins for Danger this week? Nah, definitely not. I mean, I think if the stars align, bring in Dangerfield, I think he's got to break even about 100. Which, he'll probably just get or just miss. So it's really a much of a muchness. So I'd be doing that, mate. Aussie Tiger. Can't believe it. He's 3K short of Dale. Bring in a 102 player. God, that is so frustrating, mate. I'm sorry to hear that stuff just kills you, doesn't it? Absolutely kills you. Supercoach it's a bitch sometimes, quite simply. Supercoach Pro, I think I'll go Isaac Smith. He's the 14th highest scoring forward. Thanks for help, Shorty. I'll take 85.90. Nah, fair enough, and all the best. I mean, I certainly hope you play as well, being a Cats man. But, yeah, always good to have the discussion, mate. So cheers for jumping on board. Henry, captain's options this week. Let's bring up the fixture. Where are we? What do we got? I think definitely against the Giants, you could go any of Oliver, Gawn, Petrarca even. And then you'd probably, Grundy's flying, so you could understand why you might go him. And you might even flow it into McRae or Bontempelli in the last game of the round. But I would imagine, most of us will have a little dabble at one of those Melbourne guys. I think it's probably more the question is who you go into for your skipper if it doesn't quite work. Yeah. Yes, Mitch, I cannot believe it, mate. I don't know if you saw earlier, but I absolutely cracked it, son. Can't believe they just said managed. Bullshit, mate. Just say they're dropped, for goodness sakes. Eve Fiffany. I think I butchered that. Impy to Danger. VC Took Miller. I like it. Good stuff. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I think Danger's going to be a popular selection and always loomed to be. It always looked like he was going to be a good option once he returned and was always going to be slow. I've been saying it for weeks, so he'll be looking good. Langers, here he is. Hey, Danny, hope you're well. Hair's looking good, mate. Thanks, Jake. Enough of the bullshit comments, mate. How's work going, brother? You going all right? You working hard there? Aussie Tiger, should I bring in a 102k for Waitman and next week hope I can afford Dangerfield or at least Dale next week, then CCJ price rise? Only have 3 trades left. Yeah, I'd do that, run the risk a little bit. I think get all the cash you can with a 102 guy and just play the percentages. Get the old pen and paper out, look at their break-evens, look at what scores likely, barring anything crazy. And, yeah, I think that's not a bad ploy. Sometimes it does get tough when we have so little trades. We do just have to cross the fingers. Haas VC Zorko into McRae. Yeah, well, Zorks is flying. I'll probably go one of the Melbourne blokes, but, yeah, I get that. Langus, De Boer, omitted. Clary VC. Yeah, how good's that, hey? Who would have thought? It's weird, isn't it? Obviously being omitted, that's so random. But yeah, I might do Oliver as well for my VC. Let's log into the old side. whack a little VC on Clayton there. And then I'll probably, yeah, I mean Grundy or McRae, I'd say. Yeah. Kai, Clary into Bont for me. Nice. I like it. Mark, Zorko into Bont this week for me. Good stuff, lads. Carl Chissy, Vice Shorty, you do a good job for the community. Thanks, mate. No, thanks for joining in. We got about 30 people, so give us a little cheeky thumbs up if you're enjoying it. But no, I was pleased to get about 30. I know it's a little bit earlier, so apologies if you're still at footy training or whatever you got. It's probably not a perfect time for you guys out there in the footy clubs, but Shorty just wanted to kick back and get it out early and watch the tennis. So should be good. Where are we? I have one injury trade. Should I panic? Look, don't panic, but maybe just sleep with one eye open. That is a little nervy, but that's the world we live in. It's been tough this year. It has been really tough. So cross those fingers. Hopefully nothing too crazy happens. Ollie, Zorko or Lions against Adelaide VC option. I'd probably go Zorko. I mean, I know Lions has bumped out some really big scores, but I just feel as this Zorko, he's probably got that ability to go real big like he did last week, but you're probably a good chance of either going pretty nicely. Langers, did you just pronounce... Well, I don't know how it's spelled, mate. I don't know how it's bloody spelled. Oh, so it's an epiphany. I didn't know how it's spelled, Jake. Jesus, brother. Now I look like an absolute tool. Aussie Tiger. Should I put the VC on Merritt and then see Oliver if Merritt fails? Yeah, I mean, none of the Bulldogs take your fancy. Grundy doesn't take your fancy. I think you probably sometimes the VC is more about what captain do I have absolute confidence in if all goes poorly. So I don't mind that if Oliver's probably the most confident one of the week. So I'll get that. Have a throw at the stumps and then back in Oliver. B, hey Shorty, how you doing, buddy? Where are the SGM vids? Have a tip. Took for the most disposals in Group 1 is free money. Multis with Took for 25. Something else for a bonus bet if it doesn't come through. Yeah, nice. Well, yeah, I just haven't been putting same game multis on, so I just haven't really been doing them. Maybe I'll put together one right now. Let's have a look. Let's go. Same game multi for tonight. Let's have a little dabble. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like we were doing them with our mates quite often. Just lately, yeah, it's weird. Like I work a lot of evenings, so I just don't get as many games that I watch. So I'd often put it on if I was going to watch a game. If I'm not watching a game, I don't bet on it. So, but yeah, I hope you're going well. I hope those bets get up and yeah, fingers crossed, eh? Langers, weren't you a journalist? Thanks for the spelling it out there for me, Jake. I hope your shift absolutely drags, you bastard. Epiphany's back. There you go. Look at that just roll off the tongue. I'm going VC2 against Richmond, midfield, and then Clary. Nice. I like that. Let's have a little look, eh? Where's a little same game multi? Here we go. Oh, I've got $6 in the kitty. Times are tough. Head over the disposals. I like me 20 plus disposals. Hey, Langies, you got any tips for the horses, mate? I'm going to put Dusty in there. I reckon Rowell offers a little bit of value for the 20. What do they give us for the 15? Always interesting in the 15 category. Nothing too tasty. Might help if I have a little look at the lineups, mightn't it? Greenwood and Anderson are out. Presti's out. Lambert's out. Gee, they got a few out, don't they? Bolton, Ross. Interesting. Very interesting. I like to just have one guy from the 15s. Just you sometimes get a real nice one. Jeremy Sharp had 20 touches last week. God. You reckon short for 20 plus? All right, done. Doing it. There's 3 legs. We're up to a whopping $2.15. Let's try and get this up to $3, shall we? There's a few players out. Does that mean, do you reckon Jack Ross can maybe get amongst the old centre bounce, or what role's he going to play? Ugh, he's hardly been getting near it. Yeesh. Yeah, not much going on there. Not much at all. And we're going to put Shea Bolton in for 20. Anyone take a fancy on the old goal kicking front? Nah, stuff it. We'll just do that. Give me a little power play, will you? No, you won't. Stuff you. Bang. $6. There goes my life savings. Onto it. Nice. And of course, gamble responsibly, as we always say. You've got Richmond, Dusty 20 plus, Short 20 plus, and Dusty goal. Nice. Langers, what's going on in all seriousness? So, did you see that new Collingwood Category B rookie? You're a genuine clown. If I didn't read your second message, I was probably going to pronounce that, but you're a clown, Langenegger. Absolute clown. Sean, hey, Shorty, do you think Heppel is a keeper? I think he's about as good as we could hope for M8, I reckon. Like, if you don't have the luxury of having an absolute jet at M8, then he is just about as good as you could ask for. Personally, he's probably going to help me out a lot. I'll be keeping him. Not that I'm blessed with a stack of options, the way my trades are gone, but yeah, he's been great, hasn't he? Who would have thought he'd be such a good interceptor as well off halfback? So I think there's no rush to get rid of him. No rush at all. Bo, Coleman Jones kicks 5 tonight. Have a look at that. Boom. Wouldn't that be tasty? I might just reset these old emergencies, actually. Yes, it's a glum looking side. It's a glum looking side for Shorty. This hasn't been my year, but I lost draft by 1 point as well last week. It was a tough week at the office. Epiphany, Shorty, what are your moves this week? Probably nothing. What's Poulter's break even? That might be the only one I do. Just, if I feel like you can't get the break even, I feel like it was around 70, 77. So look, it might be, let's have a little look. It might be Poulter, and it might just be a downgrade to the cheapest bloke I can find. Because like I said, I mean, it's ideal to have coverage, don't get me wrong, but the way I'm tracking, it might be even better to have 20K. Like, that's how I'm going, I mean, there's Jeremy Sharp, like one fella touched on earlier at 141. Then there's nothing through the 123s, nothing in the 117s, and Bramble. So did Bramble hold his spot? Like, not that he's going to set the world on fire, I wouldn't have thought, but he's in the team, and that's probably going to be good enough for me, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'll probably go Poulter down to Bramble, and that will give me another 218K, which will give me a total of about 320. And I'll have 2 trades left, and that 320 will have to bring me a premium from Highmore and Callum Coleman-Jones, which will be pretty easy to do. It's just I'll literally be sitting on 0 trades at about round 18. So that'll be fun. Bit of nerves. Mono 360, have you deleted your team yet? Not yet, mate. We're just going to fight through, mate. We're just going to fight through. My enthusiasm has wavered at times. I'm more interested in beating my dad in the footy tips and winning my draft league. There's no doubt about that. But no, I never throw the towel in. I think I've made this team about as respectable as it possibly could have been. And hey, with a bit of luck, I might have some solid weeks for the rest of the year. You know, if I cop some injuries, I'm going to be cooked. You know, if I cop some long termers, I'm done. Like the back end of this year, yeah, I'm going to probably cop some donuts. But we've tried to recover it as good as possible. Langers, haha, almost got you. You've come a long way since Mr. Kerr got your early days. Ooh, yeah, that was some rocky road early. Goodness me. Aussie Tiger would love that for my Tigers and my cash situation. Yeah. No, it'd just be nice. Let's just get a solid 80 out of CCJ. That'd be beautiful. Sean, hey, Shorty, with De Boer out, thoughts on putting VC or C on Oliver? I like it a lot, mate. I think he's got to be involved in it. Whether it's VC or C, you know, I'll let you sort of decide. But yes, I think he's got to be involved. Bo reckons Oliver has 50 and a goal. That'd be tasty. Wouldn't it be nice if he went on 150 plus? That'd be beautiful. Nuclear attention, Vlosten or Wiedering? Golly gosh. What on earth are we doing, Vlosten or Wiedering? Surely not. I pay every question the respect it deserves. I'm going to have a look. I know Vlosten can intercept, and so can we. Okay, he's had back-to-back tons. Okay, I'll get the interest there. Rightio. What's Wiedering doing? Old mate, Jacob. He's gone 80 and 143. So a couple of blokes had a couple of good weeks, but no, we couldn't select them. We couldn't select those guys, surely not. There's got to be better options out there. 60 touches. Corey, at least you haven't deleted your team like big old Crumb did. Was a funny video. Oh, really? Did he rage or something? You'll have to direct me to that video. I'd love to see that. Aussie Tiger should do a fans tipping competition next year. That's a great idea. Let me write that down. I'll do that. I feel like, yeah, tipping's almost more interesting in terms of head-to-head because, you know, it's constantly a battle, you know what I mean? Footy tips, shorties, Supercoach. Nice. Tyler, what's going on, mate? Hey, Shorty, hope you're doing better than myself. You're stuck in Queensland. Gosh. I take it you went up for a holiday and can't get back? Golly, that's brutal. Josh, 6 trades left with Highmore at D6, Cripps at M8, Impey and Heaney F5, F6. Not a bad situation to be in, though, mate. It's solid. Do I hope Cripps and Heaney come good to save 2 or 3 trades? Can roll between CCJ, Heaney, Impey to Danger or Mills this week. Can roll between CCJ and Heaney, Impey to Danger or Mills this week. I would probably go to Danger. I mean, it's you know, both are going to be guys that you'd like in your side. But your initial planning is probably the interesting one. I would probably give those guys as long as they, not as long as they need, but make them your final upgrade. Like I'd probably focus in on maybe seeing if Highmore can get a couple more price rises, deal with that. But, what's Isaac Heaney at now? Because those decisions are almost going to be based purely off break-evens. Like, I'd almost get rid of Heaney. He's break-even at 116. He's crap price anyway. So I don't know if I'd wait for him to come good. Cripps is probably the guy I'd have a little bit more, sitting at M8. It's not a disaster, but I'd probably look at upgrading Heaney because you can probably get away with a solid upgrade for 120K. Like, it's not stretching too far. So maybe you can go Heaney to Danger and something else somewhere. You might be able to utilise a couple of things you mentioned with that as well. Rhett, hey, Shorty, love your work, mate. Thanks, mate. Captain options this week. Well, yeah, we've discussed that a little, and definitely Oliver's your guy. Whether you're ending with him as the C or taking a little gamble on the VC, have him involved. If you're VC, then there may be McRae or Bont or Grundy's your option for a C. But I feel as if Oliver will almost definitely deliver something that we can take. So some people have spoken about Merritt. Look, some people, if you really want to throw at the stumps, you might throw in Dangerfield as a VC. If you're like, I'll just throw at the stumps here, like he could be due for a real big one, But, Zorko's been mentioned as well. So there's a few names to maybe, and look, Dusty Martin's half a chance to go massive tonight. He's always a chance. Corey, there is his video, Big Old Crump. There is his video, Big Old Crump. There he is. Deleted. Holy shit, bro. He's raged, has he? Is it a legitimate rage? Play, for God's sake. All right, that's not loading, but I'll watch that. I'll watch that later. Where am I? Tyler went on a holiday to Magnetic Island off the coast of Townsville. Can't get home without 14-day quarantine. Jesus. That is trash. Sorry to hear that, mate. I was going to say it's not the worst place to be stuck, but it's not like it's a barrel of laughs at the moment, is it? Yeah, that's a real pity. Bless the Whitfield or Callum Mills this week. I'll probably slightly lean towards Whitfield just because I presume his break-even might be slightly better, being a little bit cheaper. 556, Millsy, 112. Both are great options. If you're asking me who's going to score better, I think Mills will score better. Whitfield's a little bit cheaper, and I'm guessing has a lower break-even. 65 break-even. So, yeah, I'd preference Whitfield there, mate. Epiphany, Criminal Data loves Mills. Criminal Data. They give him a +10 for every touch like Bond. Yeah, you do. I know what you mean. You feel like some players, you're like, what the hell? He didn't even play that well. He's on 84 at three-quarter time, and he's been shit house, Sean, thoughts on Aaron Hall as VC or C? Well, he's like the last game of the round. I don't mind him as a guy that you can roll the dice on and have a little dabble at as a VC, but he's playing pretty late in the week, I believe, so probably not. Whoops. Oh, boy. What have I done here? There we go. Where are we? With Zach Butters back in the sample this week and is on track to return against Melbourne. Thoughts on him in F6? Yeah, great. No, that's really good. I like that a lot. Yeah, I haven't been able to get a definitive answer on how he's going, so that's good. Thanks for sending that through. Yeah, definitely keep him in your thoughts, and I think he's probably got another price drop or two in him, but not bad at all to have that on the radar. Marshall as well. Bo, I've traded Aaron Hall next week to a ruckman. I'm trading Aaron Hall next. Well, I wouldn't trade Aaron Hall out, but yeah, interesting tactics. If that's the case, he's been going okay, hasn't he? Jono, what players might you start in 2022 that you didn't start this year? Probably Sam Walsh, Callum Mills, Jack Steele, Christian Petrarca. I think these are guys that, for so long we probably talked about Fife, Pendlebury, Dangerfield, Cripps. They've been so good to us for so long. I just wonder, maybe it's time to acknowledge this new brigade and start some of them. So there'll be probably some guys I'll really look at in the midfield. And next year, I really like those defenders that can't be tagged. Luke Ryan, Tom Stewart, probably guys that I'll really look at as well. Just a few off the top of my head. Wes, I've got Heaney killing me at F6, but have held your boy Dow for DPP. Is it crazy to think he could hold F6 with his mid-time looking likely without Murphy? Oh, it's not crazy, but we're probably going to assess you. It's not far from crazy. No, I don't think Dow should be a guy that we're hoping can be a reliable F6. Try and remove that one and get a much better F6. I mean, interesting that a few people mentioned Butters there and Marshall coming back. Danger's cheap. I think finally there is some rescue coming for this forward line for a final couple of upgrades. So, but I do hope Dow can find something, because otherwise he's probably going to be out the door. Tyler only got here on Tuesday. Love having a solid 2 days here. Yeah, I feel your pain, mate. Twice I went to Hall's Gap, and twice we got 2 lockdowns. Sent back home after a day, and I think it was 19 hours one time. So it's just shit. I can't wait for this to, for us to get on top of, and vaccinations, whatever we got to do. But very frustrating. Carl, Dow is absolute stonks. 88 of the silkiest Supercoach points ever gathered last week. No flies on Wes. But he also says, honestly, could do worse than chock a pineapple on Dow as a friend. Big Smoky. I might just grab a charger. Oh, no, that'll get me through. I'll probably go for another 5 or so minutes. Charger shouldn't be necessary. We should be right. Xavier, hi, Shorty. My trades are Tracy and Waitman to Nick Haynes and Chug. With 2 trades left, 1 upgrade. We'll go Wingard and CCJ to Marshall and Dangerfield next week. Thoughts? I like it a lot, mate. Haynes is, he's obviously going all right, and I really love the Marshall and Dangerfield. It's almost a perfect situation to have these guys at the price they are. We hope they return to their best. I'm probably more confident in Danger, but no, I think a lot of us need cheap upgrade options, and those guys are providing it. Randy, need a forward under 400K. Sad situation. Norton, DeGoey, or Rosie? I'd probably preference DeGoey out of those, just because I feel like the new coach may dabble with him as a forward, as a midfielder, I should say, a little bit more. But that is tough times, mate. That is tough times. You're not alone there. I've had a few people sort of struggling with that money front. Jono, forward line next year is going to be tough again. Yeah, most likely. I mean, it's forward line. We're almost always dependent on getting a nice little dual position player. So I wonder who we might get through next year. Epiphany, do you reckon we will get Josh Kelly in the forward next year as possible, and possibly Fife? I don't think we'll get Josh Kelly. I think Fife is a genuine chance, and that would be very interesting. So I know they work it out on their heat maps, their starting positions, all that type of thing, percentages and whatnot. So I think it's a strange little calculation, but yeah, hopefully we get some saving grace. And Jono, Sean and Jono hoping that they can get Josh Kelly and Fife, yes. Charlie, how you going, mate? Captain options. I think, Oliver's your guy, whether you want to lead it in with him, or maybe you want to VC him and then look at McRae or Grundy, Bont if you've got him. Personally, I'm probably going to VC Clary and then look at one of those other guys on the Sunday. Corey, I wish Supercoach did mid-season dual position additions like they do in fantasy. Yeah, that's not a bad option, actually. And sometimes it might hinder us as well. So I think sometimes it works in our advantage, and it could sometimes work as a disadvantage. Some people would have hoped to get Impey at certain times, and in theory, he would have been a defender. So, yeah, sometimes I reckon it can work both ways. Jonathan, F6 dramas, McRae, Madden, Briggs, all out. Potentially McRae gets a gig, my F6, 50K in the bank. Yikes, that is real issues. You're probably just going to have to try and find someone who can score, and I really don't think there's too much down there in the forward line rookie department. I wish you luck, my friend, but I know there's not many rookies. I don't know if you can reach a little bit, or maybe you can swing some dual position stuff, but that is a brutal blow on the teams. Epiphany says, can CCJ get to 350K in the next 2 weeks? Let's have a little gander. $280, I'd say relatively good chance. Break even 18. Yeah, look, I think we probably, for that to happen, you probably need 85 plus tonight. Oh, you might even, it's always hard to predict. I'd say if he scored 85 tonight, he probably goes up to somewhere around 305 to 310. And then, look, he probably needs a 3-figure score. I'd say 350 is probably unlikely. You need a good one tonight, put it that way. We might just round up these last couple and get the old pre-game going. Might get a little bit of dinner happening. And, John, I love the stream today, Shorty. Thanks, mate. Good to have you on board. Good to have everyone on board. It's been, a different time slot. Not always the numbers we've had previously. So I think probably for futures we might, do the later one on a Thursday, but just with footy and with Wimbledon, I was pretty keen to just open up my evening. Kane, is it worth going for Marshall this week or hold off? I'd probably hold off. I'd get Danger in this week. But I'd hold on Marshall. Just let's see if he can get back to his best. Let's see if he can string a few games together. And Alesha's from Thailand. What's going on? Thanks to have you. We often get a couple of international voices through, so thanks for jumping on board. But, look, we might wind it up there. It's been good to chat. Obviously, last week just didn't pan out. Emmett's finished the team. Nicely done. That's an envious position. I like that. But, hopefully your team goes well this week. Hopefully we all trade nicely. And, hey, if you got a little same-game multi out there, I hope that goes all right for you too. But it's been nice to be back. I think next week we'll look to go Wednesday or a Thursday, probably after 8 o'clock or something like that. But, have a good week. Stay safe out there. If you are outside of Victoria, it's a little shit at times. But, look, let's chuck the footy on, kick back, and hopefully that can occupy us. So, thanks for everyone who's jumped on board. It's always fun, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers. Thanks, mate. Cheers.